Didn't happen, but I saw it
Wow,
somewhere on Twitter.
that
So,
was a lie.
Fickle. They're
You
fickle.
fickle liars.
you
You
know,
told me, and I was like, okay, I'm here for it. I'm always here for it. Midway through, I was like, where are they at?
not gonna lie, I was expecting it. I'm not, and instead we got the same. Did you know they have a Six Flags in Saudi Arabia? That's such a weird thing, in my opinion. I don't know.
No, I said, are you ready?
That was good. Glad you finally decided to pull that giant stick out of your butt and have some fun for once in your life.
You're uneducated marks. You sit there on your phones tweeting out your opinions like they're worth a damn. Let me explain something to you people. You don't know shit.
This is legendary ring announcer Tony Chimel, and you are now watching the Wrestling in the Middle podcast. It's gonna be a super show.
All I know is that I kind of got my hopes up too when you told me that. And you know what? We can live in this nice fantasy land where WWE has pre-show matches, but they really will never stray away from just giving you 2 hours of content feeding.
Yeah.
Speaking of content feeding and plugs, I want to plug this shirt in our new merch drop that just came. Our new season merch drop came for season 6.
Heck yeah. It looks beautiful.
I wanted to get some new merch out, a whole line of it. We're gonna start doing merch like that where we drop it in seasonal drops. I feel like that's the hip thing to do, right? That's a cool thing to do.
We gotta run it back. We gotta run it
Yeah.
back.
Which today, obviously, we're covering the 2026 Royal Rumble and what just went down, but also, like we just noted, season 6 premiere as well. Like we've made it now 6 seasons deep, and we got the original 2 here to bring the Rumble directly to you. Let's go. Let's go, dude. Honestly, I'm excited to have made it 6 seasons, and it was coincidental. Lucha Biggie was supposed to be here today. He had a family emergency to tend to, and we wish him well.
Of course.
It's just crazy. Now, season 6, we're starting with the original 2 again. It's mind blowing to me a little. That's all.
It's I think it's a testament to how some things change, but some things, sometimes you're nostalgic for the old things, and that's where we are today. We're hitting that wrestling in the middle nostalgia. You guys been here since 2000, what was it, 2022, 23, 24?
I know someone else that's been here since 23.
God, dude, I have a weapon now. I'm not
Don't
gonna
turn
turn it
the
on.
lights.
I'm not gonna turn it
Don't
on.
do it.
We're not putting flashing light warning in here, but I have a weapon now. So
But also today we got more special stuff we're doing. I mean, it's the season 6 premiere. We had to do something special, right? So also we're doing something special with you all, the viewers at home who are watching. Throughout this episode, we're gonna spin the wheel that we spin for Am I Cooking, our fantasy wrestler wheel, which also, this season we have the second annual Road to WrestleMania cook-off tournament. So we're gonna be vying for the second one of these Golden Spatula trophies. So what a nice way to kind of get a warm up, implement this. We're going to get 30 wrestlers. At the end of this episode, we're going to spin another wheel of those 30, get 4 more. And from that point, you viewers at home are going to vote that week on who you want to win the 3rd annual Royal Random Rumble. I think I botch it every year. I think I botch the Random Rumble every year.
man, it's got to be up there with the great Rumble botches like Titus World Slide.
I didn't cause that one. I at least didn't cause that one.
It wasn't my
It's gonna be a really fun time, and I'm excited to get into all of this today. I know it's a light footnote when we get into WWE pay-per-views. It's like, are we excited to do it today? A little bit. You got your highs and your lows.
Definitely.
What?
No, go
What?
ahead.
What?
Go
No,
ahead.
you go ahead. You go ahead. I won't go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay. I was just saying, definitely, the Rumble is something special to us. Just the history and lineage and what it means. I'll touch on that a little bit later. We can go ahead and get into everything, though.
Yeah, I was just gonna open up the women's Royal Rumble with a tweet that I sent out. I hope none of these women have to go an hour plus wrestling in these full body suits.
Oh,
Note of like comfortability and gender equality. It's an unnecessary thing to have to do if you don't choose to do it. That's just my take.
yeah.
But out the gate, we got Liv Morgan as our 2026 Women's Royal Rumble winner, and we're gonna get into some of this Rumble and how it went down. But just out the gate, I personally didn't see that coming. As predictable as that might be, I didn't see that coming. I think you might have yourself. Maybe other people did. I don't know.
I think a lot of people did. Just kind of her comeback and the story that they were setting up with the whole Judgment Day and everything. I
Hmm.
think, and just the fact that she's been runner up so many times, I think it was maybe even overdue. Um, it's really interesting because throughout the Rumble, we see a lot of women. Well, I don't think there were a lot of surprises as which they've been going less and less surprises every year. But like notable absences, obviously AJ Lee wasn't there.
Hmm.
Sorry to burst your bubbles, guys. AJ Lee didn't show up,
Yeah,
and
it's my
Bianca
only ones where
Belair,
it hit.
yeah, Bianca Belair is still out. So that's, I think, unless they just didn't want to put her in the Rumble, but I just think she's still out.
Hmm. What's cool about this, aside from her even winning it, some of my favorite women's wrestlers of all time already are in this Rumble, and that's just really a testament to how good women's wrestling is today.
Oh
I
yeah,
looked at the field, and some of my favorites, like I always talk about Sol Ruka, Lyra, Kalani Jordan, like some of the women that I just really revere already as some of my favorites, right there shining in this Rumble. It actually started with Charlotte as number one and Alexa Bliss number two. That's an interesting start, am I right?
yeah. I really like the story they were building between the two and how it was starting to bring a more likable persona of Charlotte out, and then she was starting to go kind of. In the past few weeks, she's been starting to kind of lean back into being, arrogant and everything revolving around her. And then you start out with these two, and it's like, oh. But they didn't immediately, like, they played around for a little bit, which I thought was fun, but they didn't immediately go after each other.
That
It
was
was an
kind of going to be my
accident.
question. I was like, how did you feel about them just not directly? I'm more in the party of like, let's directly get into wrestling now.
I do kind of get it. I understand that. And kind of what I was going to say earlier is the Royal Rumble to me is two things. Obviously, we love the returns, the debuts, the surprises,
Yes.
but
Yes.
to me, it's also a culmination. It's kind of a even a connected connectivity, if you will, of everything going on in WWE up to that point. So you have all these different storylines coming and meeting together, all these callbacks, these references, people with so much history with each other, or and I kind of felt like there was a part of me, obviously I do love wrestling. I love, seeing two badass wrestlers go at each other. I love to see the in ring work. I love to see how they put it together. But I do also, I do like a little cheeky nod, a little more fun. I think that was fun, and there was a story behind it too, which
Mhm.
kind of made it okay with me.
That, that makes perfect sense. I feel like there's a lot of fans that would agree with you. I mean, I feel like a lot of this company's core fan base, which doesn't necessarily include where you just fell into, but I feel like at the core part of the fan base, that's some of the stuff you love about WWE, right? Is their ability to kind of dig into that stuff. And then Charlotte ended up being the one to eliminate Alexa along with Nia Jax. Whether that was accidental or on purpose, it definitely happened and it definitely could tell a story furthering.
Yes, it's funny because when that happened, and I'm gonna kind of dig back the curtains a little bit. I thought it was accidental at first, like accidental, like oh shoot, that Alexa wasn't supposed to get out at that point. But when Becky came out right after that, and that kind of snapped Charlotte out of that kind of like, oh man, what did I do? I was like, I don't think that was an accident. I think they planned that all very well because who better to snap Charlotte out of this kind of like, oh, I just eliminated my friend by accident than one of her biggest rivals.
Yeah. Another thing, a little subtle thing. Enjoyed the Royal Rumble stat bar being utilized again this year at the bottom of the screen. I really love the stat bar.
I love the Becky Lynch nod.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, Jordan Grace made an impressive showing to no surprise. He made the first 3 eliminations in this. And then, like you
Yeah,
said, Becky and Charlotte had their little mini run back in this Rumble, and that was fun.
I
Yeah.
think I expected a little bit more out of Jordan, if I'm being honest, especially because she's next to challenge Jade. I was kind of expecting a little bit more, kind of on the lines of like when you have your Kanes or your Undertakers in the Rumble, and they go on
hmm
and have. But I guess it was fine.
Yeah, I'll pull the tweet up on the screen. I sent a tweet out of just Roxanne Perez, but it's what's her name? Shigo from Kim Possible.
Yeah, she had those vibes about her. It's
I feel like the gear was like a direct like cosplay. I feel like she legit because the gear was spot on.
yeah, I was taking note of that actually. The gear, it's very interesting. I love to see even like them making the best out of a cultural thing that they're respecting, but it makes it harder for them to perform. But
Mm.
they're making the best out of it by making these references and all these fun outfits.
Yeah, I also attribute to it like pop culture, has had a big shift over the last decade with nerd culture being more prominent, as we call it.
Yeah,
Whether you want to call it nerd culture or not, I mean, it's there's a lot of people that come in their gear will have video game, anime references. Yeah, it's just really, really common. So that's always a beautiful way to like incorporate something that maybe not isn't all the way positive, but you now have a positive spin on it.
yeah. I think there was another note on that, which was Lola got away. Lola was in the Rumble, by the way. Lola was there. Good
She
for
was there.
her. And she got to do her little hip thing, right? And JC Jane was there, and she got to do her little dance, and like that's not something that they used to let the women do in Saudi Arabia before.
hmm
The the more suggestive dances and taunts and things. So is there like a culture shift that's going on as well, or is that just kind of WWE trying the water and being like, okay, go out and do this,
I
you
think
know?
there is a sort of like fine line between both because I looked obviously watching the pre-show. I looked at the stuff they did in Saudi Arabia. One of them was like a big women's empowerment seminar where like a lot of women spoke and really really cool thing, really positive thing. Now sometimes I look at it, I'm like, are we doing that just to look like we're politically correct? Like I don't want to get too political with this, but I do look at some of the things that they do as far as empowerment and bettering, and then I'm looking at the things they support openly and who they support openly. You catch my drift? So I'm like, it's kind of
Yeah,
contradicting a little bit here. So regardless, I mean, even if you support something that isn't totally positive, you can still put positive in this world, and I still feel like stuff like that can reach the right people and go the right way. But it is, like you said, it is really interesting to see just how much we talk about it with each time we see women wrestle in Saudi Arabia, they're pushing the boundaries a little more. We've seen it elevate over the years, and this is like a next little addition into that. Now, I made a note that Natty eliminated Becky Lynch, a sign that I think they're really going to allow this Natty character to thrive. I'm
yeah,
hoping.
I hope so too. It's a really great character, and it allows her, I think, a little more freedom in what she can do as far as in the ring. Um, really play to her strengths, and I think the story between her, Maxine, and Becky was also really well done. Obviously, in the Rumble and them eliminating each other, and I think Natty might end up getting the Intercontinental title out of this. I genuinely think that.
Give her all the belts. Just give her all the belts.
It kind of makes sense. A Hart holding an Intercontinental title. I don't know. That's just me.
Just hey, you don't gotta tell me or Owen. We'll be right here.
Heck yeah.
Lash Legend eliminating Jordan Gray, Charlotte Flair, and Io Sky surprised me.
Yeah.
Not nearly as much though as I got surprised by the overrated chance she got afterwards.
Dang, that I didn't notice those chants. I have a
They
thing
were
with,
loud.
but yeah, I will say good on the audience. They seemed a little bit more engaged than they have in the past. Um, at least more than I expected them to, with the 30 woman Royal Rumble, obviously, and the culture in Saudi Arabia. Um, but yeah, Lash got, I guess, I think definitely feels like they're pushing her. And did she get like a whoop that trick chant at some point too?
She definitely did
That's
early
so.
on.
I think it's funny to me that not funny, but it's interesting that no matter where we are in the world, I guess we're all kind of aware as fans of all the backstage and some of the personal aspects of these performers, these superstars.
Drink it in, man.
Now, another cool thing with this Royal Rumble I wanted to point out was the mini Stardom reference and spot in this Rumble.
Yes.
A little
Um,
interesting to me.
Julia, Io, Asuka, that was beautiful. I wish they could have done a little bit more with it, but and I like the story they're building with Asuka and Kyrie. I think Kyrie comes out of this looking like after Asuka destroys her, obviously. Poor Kyrie's gonna get destroyed.
Give me. I thought Rhea might have been injured, or like I think early on it looked like she had tweaked her knee a little bit, and I got really scared. But no, luckily she continued on pretty all right, I would say.
Yeah, there's definitely Rhea. The more obviously, the more people get injured, the more I'm like, or the more we're like, oh my god, what are they doing? And Rhea's definitely one of those. I didn't catch that spot though. You were talking about.
Oh, it was just a couple of minutes into her coming in. She like landed on her
Oh,
knee, tweaked it a little bit. It looked sketch, but and she stood there for a while after. She was just kind of standing there,
oh,
looking at Chelsea Green while Chelsea Green was like, doing what she was doing, and then she
yeah.
eliminated Chelsea.
I like the little salute part though.
I made a note. This was funny. I made a note when Nikki came out that we got a Bella, just still not the one that I wanted. And boy, I get surprised in this Rumble. We got both Bellas.
Bree mode, let's go. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna lie, I wasn't really expecting it, nor was I really. I don't have as much attachment to the Bellas as other people do, and that's
yeah,
fine. I'm happy for everyone else, and I'm happy that it feels like what they can do with this is if she's gonna keep, going out and doing and wrestling, then maybe they can build on an already pretty active tag team division, which is very interesting to say that in the year of 2026. But it's really active.
Drink it in, man.
I kind of had mixed feelings too with the Daniel Bryan yes chance because WWE asked him to stop, which was kind of
Yeah.
extra.
Fickle. They're fickle.
I didn't know how to feel about that, honestly. I kind of chuckled a little bit just because I was like, oh, there's a lot of things that they do in this show that feels to me a little too cheeky. We'll get to more of that later.
Buckle up, Teddy.
Like, did they ask him to stop using it so that his wife and sister-in-law could use it? That's crazy. That's crazy.
That would be messed up.
Yeah, they did a lot in this match, but then got double eliminated by Lash Legend. Again, massive
Mm.
push for Lash Legend in this match, but the crowd a couple times chanted overrated. That's why I was like, you didn't hear it because it was more than once that they loudly chanted overrated at her.
I probably heard it. I just couldn't understand it. I sometimes I have a hard time understanding things. I don't know what it is.
Dylan.
Kairi Sane eliminated Asuka on accident, and we all hope this sets something up between them one-on-one, though after the match, or after Kairi got eliminated herself, it looked like we're going right back into the same sort of antics with what this is.
I think I can't say for sure, but there's definitely a potential to build on this. I think they just didn't want to build it right there because that would be, you know, too much taking away from the Rumble itself. But there's something that they can do with this. we'll see if they capitalize though.
It's Tiffy time.
Tiffany Stratton comes back as the last entrant, and this was who I thought was going to win it all at that point. Whenever I saw
Yeah.
her making her comeback, which again, I'd kind of been detached from the situation a little bit. I didn't even realize she had been like actively out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With how much had been going on, it kind of just, it's one of those things in wrestling you hate. Kind of just forgot, hey, Tiffany Stratton's this big piece of the puzzle that's been missing for a minute. So I thought, hey, this is a thing that could be happening. It did not.
But it did lead to a really interesting last three. Technically,
Yeah.
the last four, when you look at, Raquel was the fourth. Liv eliminates Raquel.
Yeah, I was about to say Raquel eliminating Rhea was crazy, but Liv eliminating Raquel was even crazier to me.
And then we have Liv, Soul, and Tiffany Stratton. A lot of yellow hair up in this place, but
Did you see my tweet?
I did not see your tweet. I've stayed off Twitter since since I started watching the show. Not gonna lie.
Triple H really enjoys pushing the blonde women for some reason. Is all I said. I was like, I love the final three as far as like one of my favorites in Sol Ruca is part of the final three, and even if I don't think she's gonna win it, I'm like, that's awesome. Let's go.
Yeah.
Still a little weird. Just like they had to all be blonde.
I think so. As I was talking about the tag team situation earlier, a lot of the big time players are in that tag division. And I kind of applaud them for not being like, oh, we're going to have Rhea in the top three, or we're going to have Io in the top three, we're going to have Bailey in the top three, we're going to have Charlotte in the top. Well, she's blonde, but The point is that they didn't put all the big names, all the usual big names up there because they're doing stuff in different divisions, building up different divisions. I thought that was really cool. So then you have the fresh upstart Sol Ruca, you have the comeback Tiffany Stratton, and then of course the winner and runner up for many years up until this point, Liv Morgan.
Give me a hell yeah.
Yeah, I really love that Sol Ruca made it to the final three, and I really love the finish on the apron, on the edge of the apron, all that went down there. It was a really sick finish. Now, where do we see all this going on the road to WrestleMania? We got Liv Morgan winning this Rumble. There's some Judgment Day dissension, as always. There's always got to be some.
So I think it's really clear already who she's choosing. It's going to end up being Stephanie versus Liv versus Raquel at WrestleMania, I think.
Okay. I'm just thinking. See, I can cook. I'm a professional cooker. So
That would be a chef. That's a chef.
I can't call it, man. I just the Raquel thing is what really throws me off with it all. And
it does definitely seem like they're going to push her a little bit. They kind of, it's been that way for a couple of months now, where it seems like they're trying to push her. And I just kind of feel bad for Roxanne because she's going to be kind of a third wheel in this whole thing for a minute.
someone say wheel. Someone say wheel. Let's get our wheel out. Let's start getting some wrestlers.
That was the exact that was the point. Yes.
That was always the point.
Yeah.
All right, let me get my blank notepad out so I can write down my wrestlers. I say wrestlers, but my note says wrestlers.
Yeah, wrestling in the middle.
All right, let's get 10 wrestlers to start our little Rumble pool. And this is intergender. And this is Goldberg.
No.
Doesn't matter, man or woman.
Wait, when we're rolling them, are we rolling them in the order they're coming in?
Yep, he's entering number one.
Okay, then your number one entrant is Goldberg.
Man, woman, or Goldberg. Everybody could be in this thing. Who's drawing number 2 in the Random Rumble right now? I love that. Got to call him the Man Beast. The Man Beast, Rhino. So who's number 3? Becky Lynch. That's who I'm rooting for.
Number 3 is Becky Lynch.
Becky Lynch, you said?
Yes.
What?
You'd have to watch the pre-show.
Oh, disrespect. Jamie Noble.
Number 4 entrant is Jamie Noble.
Ding dong. Hello.
Okay, number 5 here. Get halfway through our first 10. Owen Hart, that's a solid one. He's here in the room with me.
Yo, Owen, how you gonna do tonight?
I changed my pick.
Not bad.
I thought I was going to hit Goldberg again. He comes in twice now. It's Penta.
Number 7 is Penta. Number
Shayna
8.
Baszler. Okay, number 8 this time actually is Jeff Cobb, not JC Mateo or anybody else you might know. It's Jeff Cobb. Let's see who else is getting in this rumby. Britt Baker.
Number 9 is Britt
TMD.
Baker. TMD. There you go.
Jamie Hayter to finish this off.
Wow. Britt and then Jamie? Yo, that's a
Yep.
good order.
So we got Goldberg, Rhino, Becky Lynch, Jamie Noble, Owen Hart as the first 5. Penta, Shayna Baszler, Jeff Cobb, Britt Baker, and Jamie Hayter as the second 5.
Damn.
Oh, wow. See who gets added next. But the next thing we're going to get into is AJ Styles versus Gunther.
The Ring General.
Dude, we had a big fight feel for this one. And
Yeah.
I think that's just a testament to like the stakes involved and the caliber of wrestlers we're about to face off against, of course. But it's what I wanted to point out tweet wise with this, because we already know AJ Styles, effectively is retired from WWE at least. They said on commentary if he loses, he goes home. I said, well, home, and put a picture of him in TNA. That's
Yeah, see, so there's an interesting part to this port. There was a report in Fightful that said that internally they were talking about doing a thing where AJ Styles doesn't actually lose, and they reversed the decision on Raw, which sounds stupid. And I hope, first of all, I respect Sean Ross Sapp. So if the report I saw was actually from another website, I didn't do my due diligence. My apologies. But if it was reported there, I hope that's not what happens. I hope that WWE is not stupid enough to do that, because that sounds like a big FU to people who were there. That sounds like a retcon, that, a goose egg, a cop out.
goose egg. It's called a goose egg. Yeah, I don't like that at all. I will say with this, at least, on the present subject, and pun very much intended when I say this, phenomenal match. It really did live up to be a phenomenal match. And a lot of false finishes, which always gets me excited.
Yes, it was so good. That last stretch where he's in the sleeper, AJ's in the sleeper, and it's just like he keeps pulling out, and eventually it's just like you can't fight it. And I think it's, whether intended or not, it's kind of the a symbolic kind of thing of like you can't fight time, right? You can't fight time. Eventually, it comes for us all. So kind of like how John Cena, when he was retired, he smiled and he let go of everything. AJ, on the other hand, didn't. He fought till the last minute, and it overwhelmed him.
Rest in peace.
Okay, I'm looking up something.
Yeah.
Give me a second.
Are you gonna look at that report so I don't look stupid?
No, I was just seeing the age difference between AJ Styles and Gunther. 'Cause obviously, Gunther is not a spring chicken. He's not young, but he is significantly younger still, at least. There's at least like a 10, 11-year gap. I think Gunther's
Yeah.
38 or 39. Oh,
That's so interesting because his character right now is like the career kill and everything, but
yeah.
he's talking about all these old heads, all the old guys, and it's like, well, they're not that much older than you, bro.
I will say that he looks dominant in this match to nobody's surprise. He
Yeah,
gets to look dominant without, of course, squashing AJ Styles, which would piss everybody off, included.
yeah.
But uh, AJ fights for his life. Gunther puts him and his career to sleep. Again, quotations around effectively retiring AJ Styles. I'm surprised so many people felt shocked given all we know and with the letter that Shinsuke had put out about him talking about retiring at the Rumble, the trademark filings we're going to get into. I think legitimately and finally, jokes aside, we're going to see AJ Styles go to AEW to finish out his career the way he wants. I really do.
I think that's definitely a possibility. I was just thinking, like, it doesn't matter where he goes, he can fill a void right now. I feel like
Yeah,
just thinking like TNA needs something to keep them going. That's a whole other subject for a whole other day.
they
New
said
Japan
home.
could TNA is his home, yeah. New Japan could use someone like AJ Styles right now. And AEW, obviously, there's so many dream matches he could have in AEW. He could really kill it over there. Um, Whatever he's going to do, it's going to be great, and I think it's going to be like a good end note for his career. But I do actually see him coming back to WWE at some point and like doing producing or training or something with WWE.
Oh, yeah, yeah, under that umbrella. I mean, what intrigued me out of this, as a lot of people, is the deciding and undeciding of him taking off his gloves, putting them back
Yeah,
on, and doing the whole thing. I think finishing his career having wrestled for every major promotion company is a very AJ Styles thing to do as well.
yeah.
And the relationship to get him into All Elite Wrestling is so strong, he could bench press two Mark Henrys. It's a really strong relationship. I was really curious. You say the statement, New Japan could use a AJ Styles. I don't know that they could use it or the sense they need to use one. They're doing better than they've done in quite a while now, but it would be a cool little nod. Again, that's what falls into the umbrella of like him going to AEW makes sense because he has the avenues to go work Japan or Mexico or wherever he wants to incrementally.
The circles I follow have not been as optimistic about New Japan, but I have seen they're doing some good things. Um, but that might be another subject for another day as well. I feel like they definitely need another star. They need another big star. And I know AJ's not young; he's not going to stay there forever.
Mm.
But if you could have someone in AJ's career in New Japan, that is a star building moment.
The debate I have towards that, or what I would tell whatever circle of fans that is legitimately like it sounds to me that you're looking for specifically an American star in New Japan because New Japan right now again is hot and Yota Tsuji is at a hot period and he brought the belt back and like Shota Umino's hot. There's so many homegrown New Japan talent that are at their best now because of the way they've built them up. So that's why the first thing I would say is like, no, they don't need AJ Styles. It's just another big American name to bring back. So
Yeah, yeah,
AEW will make it possible too. That's that pipeline that they have in that little friendship, I call it the wrestling rebellion they have with Rev Pro and CMLL and like it creates so many opportunities without
yeah.
directly having to commit to something. Okay, let me get the wheel pulled back up here. We get next 10 wrestlers.
Here we go. Our last wrestler was Jamie Hayter.
It was Jamie Hayter. That is correct. I'm pulling this up too. A little mid pay-per-view thought I had. 2K26, WWE 2K26 looks like an amazing video game and potentially one of the best wrestling video games of all time, but I still to this day have not even played more than 10 hours of 2K25. So,
I think so. The thing about 2K26 from what it looks, there's a lot of promises of expanding the creation suite, but they're also splitting the creations on PC and the creation on consoles. There's the talk about changing up the physics, changing up the weapon physics, making more ragdoll type stuff come in that makes it more fun in my opinion.
Mm.
Um, stacking tables, thumbtacks, all that sounds really cool. Looks really cool.
Yeah.
But they have this battle pass thing they're going to go with for the DLC. It's kind of like a here's a good thing, here's a bad thing type deal.
You kids and your battle passes.
I know, right?
Your battle passes.
Like, why did you have to? I know why they had to, but don't.
In my day, we played Battleship. Let's get some
No.
wrestlers. I said Battleship and spun it so hard. Spun it so good. We already got him.
He's giving away. You should give us the blue.
The Blue Blazer will not make an appearance here, but Zoe Stark will.
Damn, we have it's like women killing it right now. All right,
It might be a
Zoe King.
predominantly a women's rumble, and I'm down for it, honestly.
Zoe and Jamie already sounds like a hell of a matchup.
And Hikaru Shida.
Yo,
This is
yo,
going off.
they're just bangers going on right here.
You know, lights, man. See if we get a man in here. Let's get a man in this. No, we get Lita. Okay, this is number 4. If the first 5 out of these 10 are just straight women, I'm gonna laugh. Al Snow.
Oh no, one head.
I had saw Molly Holly pop up like pretty close to that though. I was like, oh no. Yes, we get the other heart guy.
Oh, Brett and Owen in the same rumble. Let's go.
It's Owen Hart and then the other heart guy is what it'll be known as.
Yo, and Goldberg. Oh my God, Brett's gonna have so much fun.
I know. The fantasy rumble in my head is going off a little bit. I'm like, man, Brett and Owen have to team up to take out Goldberg, but then Owen turns on Brett. We're cooking.
Yo, can we get Natalia next? That would be.
We're gonna no, this is a stupid zany idea, but what if in the AMI cooking tournament we add the Royal Rumble to the match wheel and then you just have to use your whole roster to create a rumble? We only have 20 people. Okay, let's see who our second 5 will be. Julia, spelled how it used to be too.
Julia. Okay. Like, there's some hard hitting women in here, man.
Yeah. It's gonna be an intense one. Becky Lynch, let's go.
She's already in. She was in the first.
Honestly, coming out of a Saudi Royal Rumble and just having a strong women's portion of our random rumble, I feel validated. I'll have to wait till we get into the men's Royal Rumble. Dijak gets in this. Let's go. Get Dijak in there.
Oh yeah.
I'll have to wait till the men's Royal Rumble to really get into how I feel about each individual Royal Rumble, but I will at least say a light footnote on where I'm feeling. Really, really just proud of women and women's wrestling right now.
Yeah.
Okay, who's next on this wheel? It's the Great Khali. Let's go.
Yo, Dijak and the Great Khali. Yo. Oh.
Wait, what are you gonna do with that?
Yeah, two tall guys and.
Okay, there's tall, but then there's the Great Khali tall. Like, come on. He's tall, but he's not that tall. All right, who's our last man or woman?
We went back Keith Lee and Dijak and the Great Khali.
It's Dustin Rhodes, but it didn't like ding or anything. It just stopped in the middle.
Okay. Well, it's Dustin Rhodes. I guess.
That's the most anticlimactic finish. Okay, I'm just making sure. Yeah, we got 20 out of 30 so far. It'll be interesting getting that last 10 out of it. But before then, of course, we're going to get into our WWE title match. Drew successfully retaining the WWE title. And this was a solid defense, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, I came into this expecting it to be a really good match, and of course, Sammy and Drew, they would not disappoint. Sammy, I think, kind of similar to the way Gunther was just destroying AJ for a while, Drew kind of did the same to Sammy. He was just like battering poor Sammy for a good chunk.
Ruthless aggression.
Another big fight feel singles match amidst the card is something that I can at least make a positive note of. Again, positive notes are subjective in nature when talking about WWE, but a positive note is just I really liked the two singles match mid card of this Royal Rumble pay per view being solid matches, and this one was like intense, physically and emotionally, just intense is how I would describe it. And another thing I think I wanted to note onto that, besides it being physical, mental, intense, both guys deserve to be in this spot. Like both
Yeah,
these guys deserved this spot. So
it's so crazy to me. Like I've seen a lot of people on like Twitter at least kind of turn on Sami Zayn.
no,
We
not again, not again.
we all have our preferences, but I genuinely think like people just don't appreciate a good underdog babyface nowadays, and it's just kind of sad to me.
It's crazy to me because a note I made with this is just like similar to Danielson, he can make you believe. Like Sami Zayn is a master at telling the story of just fighting with every last dying breath and really making you believe in somebody. Even when he got absolutely bombed through the announce desk.
He was. I thought for a second that he was actually injured, and he was like, I was like, come on, dude, you cannot not here, and of all places, like, and
Yeah.
like, I was just thinking from like a psychology point of view, at least positioning on the card and everything. You already made everyone depressed with AJ Styles retiring, and then you're just gonna have Sammy just get like carted out. Like, what does that do to a crowd? How much does that deflate everyone?
Yeah. Regardless, though, and that's what's great about Sami Zayn is like he fought till every last dying breath, and you believed in him so hard that even when he got carted out of the match, you still felt good inside. You're like, that's my guy. And he's gonna win the big one day. I just have to I that's how good he is. I have to believe that Sami Zayn will win the big one day because that's the story he's been telling me for
I agree. Personally
I,
feel like this should have been the night, but as we're about to see.
yeah, it's gonna take a lot of getting into the Rumble to discuss that, and it will be fun to discuss. I'm sharing the screen because we're getting our last 10 after this, but it was an area, to your point, it was an area where putting the title on Sami Zayn and making Drew a transitional champion wasn't necessarily the worst move. I think just looking at Drew's history with each world title run, it would have been a big first one of the season. It would have been a big you to Drew McIntyre if you just took that title
Well,
right back.
that was another thing. That's why at this point, with how Drew's kind of been treated with championships, I was like, there was a part of me that almost saw Sammy winning here,
Yeah.
almost.
It's
But
almost
at the end of the day, I went for Drew, and I didn't pray for it, but it did happen.
stop. One of these days, it's gonna be a Daniel Bryan WrestleMania 30 thing too. Like so, like even if it's a WrestleMania 50 theory, if the WrestleMania 50 theory I came up with is specific to Sami Zayn, which I just think it's waiting too long. But regardless,
Let's say he's gonna have
bro,
a gray beard. What?
WrestleMania 43. I almost said 42 because I was thinking we're at 41 now. No, it's been moving along. WrestleMania 43, like just do it, dude. Just pull the trigger. Sami Zayn, Royal Rumble winner.
Please.
Right. Speaking of which, I'm gonna pull him right now on this wheel. Last 10 in the Rumble.
Well, Sami Zayn.
Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, Ripley. Damn, the women are going off, man.
This is brutality.
Hell yeah. Just also Ruka. That would be kind of crazy.
I'll give you Card Noir.
Noir, yo, let's go. Oh, he's kind of a now.
That's the second censorship of the season. We got him out in 5 minutes apart from each other. We already got Zoe Stark.
I didn't realize
Give.
we had to censor that.
We almost had Sami
Oh
Zayn.
god, come on.
Hey, Ricky Steamboat isn't disappointing or anything. It's just I saw Sami
No.
Zayn. Damn.
Yeah, I saw Mako. That'd be crazy.
Bruno.
And Martino. Yeah, okay.
His first ever Royal Rumble.
Bill
Think
Rumble,
about it.
yeah. Damn. Is that the third? Do we have to censor Dan? I just did it again.
No, we never have. Edge.
Let's
Okay, this is the first 5 out of the last 10. This is gonna be our final 5 coming up.
go.
Final 5. Feeling alive. Evan Bourne, baby.
Yo, okay.
Born to fly.
Yo, are the last 5 gonna be all male?
Here's what's fun about this, and what's funny to me is I'm seeing some great names. I'm like, oh, I would root for this person. I would root for this person. I would root for this person. But what's gonna be fun is when we spin the last wheel 4 times and see which 4 of these 30 are gonna be the fun. The final 4 could be insane.
We could, yeah.
Jeff Hardy, baby. Let's
Hardy,
go.
yo.
That's a
Just
solid
like
one.
Ryan.
The last 5 are definitely just gonna be crazy, high flying superstars. And Melina.
And Melina. And Melina.
Last 2. You
Yeah, can we get Pete Dunne? That'd be crazy.
can get Mike Bailey,
Bailey, yo.
the speedball.
Speedball.
All right. Last spin, like always, I'm going to spin it really hard and really fast for a really long
Oh my
time. And
God.
while I do that, I'm going to let everybody know that this season you can watch the Road to WrestleMania Am I Cooking Tournament Cook Off 2. I'm going to win it a second year in a row,
Yeah.
just like John Moxley's winning this Royal Rumble. Let's go.
Yo, Moxley's gonna kill people.
Let's go. That is our Royal Rumble roster anyway. That's our roster anyway. We'll see
The
at the end of
Random
this.
Rumble roster.
Random Rumble roster, and we'll see at the end of this who's gonna be the final 4 for you guys to vote on. But we'll have to get into that in a second. What's funny about the Random Rumble itself is like it's so random in nature as well. We've kind of over the 3 years it's happened changed where it's been or what it is 3 separate times. So the first time was just like something we did mid episode. The second time we put it on through the table. And now this third year, it's literally just something we are integrating with you guys, the viewers. So
Heck yeah, we love getting involved with you guys, having you guys come and vote and stuff, and you know, really be a part of this. So excited to see how this goes. But let's
and
get
like
to
I
the
said,
Rumble.
well, like I said too, it kind of gives viewers a taste of what to expect in this Am I Cooking tournament, which gets really, really interesting.
Buckle up, Teddy.
All right, a tweet I want to show before we get in the men's Royal Rumble. Swerve Strickland is like a lot of us, and he tweeted out "Go Oba" because I think a lot of people were rooting for Oba Femi.
Yeah, and rightfully so.
Before I even get into the winner, maybe I don't have to tell you, Roman Reigns won the Royal Rumble. You probably expected Roman Reigns to win the Saudi Royal Rumble. We'll get into that in a minute. Oba Femi, to his credit, I should say, comes out number 1 in his first ever Rumble, and Braun Breaker comes out number 2. Another thing we'll have to talk about too, but Braun Breaker comes out number 2 and gets attacked by another masked man, seeming to be Seth Rollins. But Obafemi, eliminates Braun Breaker right away, and then we see Solo Sikoa, Rey Mysterio, Rusev at 3, 4, 5. Obafemi eliminates all of them before number 6, Matt Cardona, even comes out. Crazy.
Yeah, Oba has a real crazy showing here. It's really reminiscent of old, monsters in the past. And I think
Yes.
that's it's a good place to put him. I don't think you were putting Oba in a Rumble and having him just get eliminated normally would not have been the move. Show him his dominance. And there were a lot of callbacks too. The part where they have Trick, Javon, and Oba in the ring, that NXT callback right there, that was beautiful.
Yeah, that was another thing I had made note of as well. I really enjoyed that, similar to the women having that stardom little triple threat callback. It's just the subtle little nod. Um, Going back to even Obafemi, now we'll roll back a couple spots in the Rumble. He eliminates Matt Cordona even before number 7 comes out, which is Damian Priest, which is then where we start to build the field back up a little bit. Um, so, and again, rolling it back a little bit because I don't want to brush over it. The Braun Breaker thing was kind of like a integral storyline in what they're trying to do. I felt like it was a little bit disappointing given the performance we expected to see Braun Breaker be having in this Royal Rumble.
I think with so many moving parts and so many monsters, it was not very likely that you could have them all shine the way you wanted to. Um, Someone had to take the fall, and obviously, the whole story with the Vision happened way quicker than they wanted it to. So maybe they're trying to go back to some points they wanted to hit. But I have a theory, and it might involve theory.
Hmm.
So we have a masked man comes in, stomps him, and we're all thinking, "Oh, it's Seth Rollins. He does the stomp."
He does the stomp is Britt Baker. No, can continue.
I'm thinking here. So there's two possibilities, right? One is a man who comes later in the Rumble. Well, they're both men that come later in the Rumble. It's either another member of the Vision who maybe they were talking on Monday, like they all agreed, like we're gonna make Braun win, but maybe that member did not want Braun to win, even though they
Hmm.
said they did. They just kind of went with what everyone else was saying, so they took him out, so that's one less thing they had to deal with. Or maybe it's an angry LA Knight that was part of his revenge, which he does get later in the Rumble, of course. So those are my two theories, at least.
The first one has some traction to it. I'm going to dismiss the LA Knight one altogether. I don't think they're going to give LA Knight any sort of traction for a while for whatever reason. Then that
Yeah,
I don't recall what it was. I remember there was something that like he did during a program that like upper management did not like, or they said, "All right, pull the reins back on this
it was
guy."
the
And
Money in the Bank thing or something.
yeah, I won't say a more positive or a lighter note, but just on a note, number 9 was Mr. Iguana, which wasn't a surprise, but I guess like wasn't totally foreseen either. And we see more AAA wrestlers throughout the Rumble as well.
So it's very interesting because I thought I saw something about there being a match in AAA today. Maybe it was yesterday. Maybe I just got the dates wrong. But he was supposed to special guest referee a match between Lola Vice and La Hiedra, I believe. But obviously we saw Lola earlier.
I was about to say it definitely could have been today.
But it was fun. He didn't stay as long as I thought he would, which wasn't that long to begin with. I think the other AAA wrestler you mentioned, La
Parka,
Parca,
yeah,
actually got a little bit more time than Mr. Iguana did.
yeah, they gave Parka some time, which lucha legend on the
Yeah,
streets. Just it was one of those things you kind of forget in the back of your mind unless you're directly involved with it. Like I know Lucha Big E does enjoy it still. Unless you're directly involved with AAA, you kind of put in the back of your mind that it's a thing. And so it's like that's why I say with Mr. Iguana, especially something I didn't foresee, but then I'm also like, oh, not surprised.
yeah. Like I was surprised that Saudi Arabia was not really digging Mr. Iguana as much as I think people over here in the States do. I don't. They
Yeah.
weren't popping for him as much. They did pop when La Parca was doing his old dance in the ring, though. I did notice that.
And just when it comes to Iguana and women, they're not for it, I guess. I don't know. Again, they obviously don't hate women's wrestling. Nobody can at this point. It's too good. It's going
Yeah.
off too much, but I digress because I really feel like that's getting into an area we don't have to. We're here for wrestling.
Wow.
Our next Rumble note: Cody comes out at number 11 and gets a grand entrance. Of course, spectacular entrance for
It,
the Codester.
it's just so amusing to me that he comes in, does his whole entrance. Meanwhile, everyone's fighting in the ring.
Yeah. No, there's You know what? I'm gonna save this. There's some other stuff on that. We're gonna get there later. Uh, we're gonna lightly touch on it, I guess. 'Cause we'll get into this as much as you want to. We see a battle of El Grande Americanos, and I don't mean large coffees either. Uh, who is who and why? I'm never quite sure. Like I'm so lost within the Grande Americano lore that I'm like, I don't know who is who and why they're it. That what?
So
What?
I'll give you a since we're not going to get into it really deep. I'll just say Ludwig is the current one. Chad is the one that just came back. So Ludwig was the first one. Chad was the second one.
When did
Or
that Chad Gable ever start looking like that?
I that's the thing that I threw me off because I was like, when did he get so much facial hair?
There's something doesn't match up to the Gabe uh, facial portfolio.
Unless there's another Americano. If there is, then they've just introduced another wrinkle to the whole thing.
This is like when you have the prequel coming out after the movies have already aired. So like you got one movie and then you got the sequel, but then they came back the third movie. It was a prequel because like actually there's one before even this. That's not
I,
that has to be it.
I don't know, man.
For all I know, Giovanni Vinci's still one of them. I, I wish they would have given him anything. Number 14 is Royce Keys, but the graphic said Powerhouse Hobbs first. And it had, I guess, a weird feeling altogether, as most AEW crossovers to WWE feel. It's always kind of like a weird fickle area, like how's this gonna look? How are they gonna fit in? I think that answer gets answered throughout, coming time, coming months and seeing what they do. But
I
how did
think
you feel?
I felt that was a. I don't know who decided that they wanted to do the whole graphic with like Powerhouse Hobbs. Just kidding. That's that's trash. Royce Keys. That's the way it came across to me.
It did, and then it's like they came across that same way. I felt that same way, and then likewise, they had no bones about consistently mentioning his history as Powerhouse Hobbs, his history with Cody Rhodes. For a company that they don't like and don't acknowledge, they do seem to find subtle ways to want to talk about them a lot. That's all I'm gonna say. That's the only thing I'm gonna leave on the table.
Yeah, I think there's a rebuttal coming. That's in my opinion. I think there's a tit for tat here.
Like that time Will Ospreay just burned Triple H.
Yes. Yeah, I think there's a tit for tat coming.
Okay. Now let's talk about more grand entrances since it's a WWE pay-per-view. Jey Uso still makes his entrance through the crowd, even if it's the Royal Rumble. And as soon as he gets to the ring and hits one super kick, it leads back into him running it back. We do the Jey Uso, we're gonna run it back. And this leads all the way into Roman entering. Like he did that for the amount of time till the next entrant.
I think so. I can see why this ticks people off, but I think what they did with that was very entertaining. I think
Mm,
with Jay doing that, then being it's just a story beat. Again, he is upstaged by Roman Reigns. Like so, it's kind of like a nod. Like no matter what you do in your career, you're always going to be upstaged by Roman Reigns. Sorry, Jay.
yeah. Tell Cody that on the entrance too. Like Roman gets more pyro than even Cody got. Roman's pyro was immaculate. Sorry.
It's three.
I know. That's the SummerSlam swear jar is actually back here.
Okay.
Make sure I grab it and throw some in. But yeah, it's just crazy to me, dude. It's crazy to me. It's not crazy to me because, again, predictability tells me it's Saudi Arabia, it's the Roman Reigns Royal Rumble, it's the quadruple R right here, right now. Like, if
Yeah.
you don't see that coming, you're a fool. You're a fool. All right. Drop some. As a reminder, I got like $3 to give. This is coming out of my paycheck, so I better hit the brakes.
Part done, bruv.
All right. Gunther enters the Rumble last. Let's make note of that. He retired AJ Styles and then entered the Royal Rumble last. And I didn't watch the week leading up to the Royal Rumble, so I didn't know if this was a shocker or not, if we expected him to be doing both things. Do you know?
So I know on the pre-show they mentioned he was going to be in the Rumble. I
Mm,
I didn't get to watch as closely as I wanted to the past few weeks, but I know as far as like the pre-show, I think maybe even last night he had even said as well, like he was going to be on the Rumble as well.
Okay.
So I wasn't shocked when he came out. In fact, I had even predicted, I was like, oh, he's gonna come out 30 because he just wrestled a whole dang match, and then he's gonna come out and do a rumble. Yeah, he's coming out 30.
Now, here's a weird tidbit that I didn't see coming. Maybe some people saw coming. This is the one portion of the pay per view that I definitely didn't have any predictability factor on seeing next to Brie Bella coming. Like, that definitely was like, whoa, didn't see that. But Drew interferes and Claymore's Cody off the ring apron to make sure he can't win. I just did not see that coming.
I think um, the rumors are that they're gonna run Drew, Jacob, and Cody at WrestleMania, which, eh, but I think that made sense when they did that. And obviously, you see the camera pan out, Drew looking at Jacob, Cody ticked off at Drew, you know, Jacob being like, "What the heck, man?" Just all three kind of having that kind of
Yeah.
moment right there. Kind of that cements it for me.
Okay, so for a company that I'm about to touch on very shortly and soon being so predictable, I have to admit some of these decisions now being put together, now that we're at the portion of this episode where we can talk about it, is really unpredictable. There is starting to become a new level of unpredictability. It's like, why? Because you laying out the Jacob, Drew, and Cody match. I'm like, if that's WrestleMania and Roman's going after the World Heavyweight title, is Punk still holding it then? Is anybody holding their world titles after Elimination Chamber that has them now? I don't know. Elimination Chamber actually might be the big deciding factor this year of like what happens and who decides to go after what title in the men's side anyway.
See, so coming in, I was even one reason I predicted Drew to keep his title was, oh, when Roman wins the Rumble, he needs an easy go-to. But I had also remembered the report. I was like, I don't know, man. They maybe they put out that report to throw us off, though. There's a different level of just kind of everything WWE does now, where they throw out things to different people to feed to us and make us think we know what's going on, and then we
Yeah.
don't. So,
Here's
but yeah, go ahead.
I was just say here's where my head's kind of going with it with the whole I do think Seth Rollins is the one who's behind the mask. Personally, I do think they're running that. But I think on a bigger scale, Roman Reigns is going to throw a curveball because we go back to War Games, right? Roman Reigns tells both Cody and CM Punk like I'm coming after one of you at the end of the match. It seems Cody's for sure it. I think the curveball comes. Roman Reigns is planning on picking CM Punk World Heavyweight title. The last year's Royal Rumble saw the sort of dissension that led to the triple threat of Roman, Seth, and Punk. I think using the predictability and unpredictability factors I just laid out, we might be seeing that triple threat ran back at WrestleMania.
Interesting. I'm not quite sure. It's hard
Think-
because Jacob, Cody, and Drew still have unfinished business with each other.
Yeah,
That is for sure.
yeah.
They so there's that aspect that I just think is like,
Why
and
does every road seem to lead to a triple threat in these scenarios we're trying to lay? Like it seems like the common denominator.
I think all it means is that all roads lead to three.
Hmm. Three of a kind in Las Vegas. I
Yeah,
don't know. There's a lot of hypotheticals. Speaking of three, like the final three came down to Gunther, Orton, and Roman. Roman and Gunther, the final two. It kind of becomes a little mini match. But
yeah.
foreseen all the way, Roman Reigns wins that Royal Rumble. And again, I could ask the question again, where do we see all this going on the road to WrestleMania? But we kind of just dove into that already. It's just I feel like the more I dive into it, the more of a rabbit hole it seems of like, okay, I don't know where this is going. So maybe this might have been predictable, but the road to WrestleMania appears to be looking a little bit more unpredictable. And speaking of which, on this subject, you sent out a tweet before the Rumble on your Royal Rumble predictions, and you had 4 out of 4. You definitely had 4 out of 4, which is commendable. It also just kind of shows how apparent the choices were, kind of shows, well, is this a sign that it's too predictable? I don't know.
Like if I could run down the whole situation, like I said,
Yeah.
Liv, Raquel, Stephanie made sense. The Drew, Cody, Jacob thing, okay. Roman's going after Punk, I guess. Um, Gunther, retires AJ. His next target was confirmed, or not confirmed, but it looks to be pretty likely to me in the Rumble. Randy Orton. He's
Yeah.
killing careers. Randy is, he's no spring chicken. You know, maybe WrestleMania we see Gunther versus Randy for Randy's career.
Also, another thing I had noted in here on the like extra stuff before I get into any final pay-per-view thoughts. After the Rumble ended, they had the longest and most unnecessary pyro show out of any pay-per-view, like beating out any WrestleMania I've ever watched, beating out any SummerSlam I've ever seen.
It was. I was like, how long does this go? I thought it was a glitch.
Final pay-per-view thoughts. I'm gonna give them off, and then I'm gonna pass it to you to give yours. And while you're giving your final pay-per-view thoughts, what I'm gonna be doing is making the wheel of 30 wrestlers to get our final four. So that'll be fun. Final pay-per-view thoughts. I felt like this was as predictable of an event as it could go, but a higher note I can make is it didn't totally suck all around. I preferred heavily the women's rumble to the men's rumble. I didn't love the men's rumble too much, or at least not too much, I could say. And even more so than that, I prefer the singles matches on the card over the rumbles, which you can take however you choose on that note, but the mid card singles matches really did go off. I hate still a lot of what goes into and behind this event and behind the scenes of WWE, so that never ceases to be a note, nor like I hate the ignorance of still having Lesnar around as a major player, even though he wasn't thankfully a major factor in this whole equation. Overall, I give this pay per view a rating of 3 stars based on and between its positive match quality, minus the men's rumble, and also its negative outlook in some of the routes they're taking and ways they're going about everything behind the scenes. Again, I'm noting now on screen we might be seeing some pretty exciting stuff. Uh, and yeah, 3 stars. Again, pass it off to you, so I'll get this wheel started.
So I'm gonna separate my star rating from my rating of the company for a second here. I'm
Always.
gonna go ahead and run down the cons. And there's a lot. We're doing this in Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is getting 3 events this year and WrestleMania next year, and this is kind of terrible. Um, Not only that, but they took 25 days to put up a stadium, and I'm sorry, I'm not gonna accuse anyone of anything. That sounds a little shady to me. How they got there does not sound great. What I also have to mention, of course, is Lesnar. Why do we have Lesnar around still, especially when we have someone like Obafemi, who does what Lesnar does, but he has way more charisma than the man. That's just the truth. That all being said, and of course the women having to compete in those terrible conditions, I give the company a like 1 out of 5. The event itself, I gotta give a 3.5 out of 5. I really enjoyed it. I wouldn't say again, it was predictable. It was very predictable. But there's something about the predictability of it all. It's kind of like watching your favorite show back and knowing everything that happens, but being like, oh, I can't wait for this part to happen. That's kind of what it reminds me of, you know. Oh, especially like I don't love the choice of Roman winning. I see why they did it, and but I really like the fact that Liv won. I think she deserved it. I think being runner up for so long, finally getting it is a really it's an it's an accolade for her. It's definitely a sign that they respect her and they have faith in her. So we'll see what this does at WrestleMania. I think the stories leading into WrestleMania look pretty strong in my opinion. And like I said earlier, the Royal Rumble, it's hard to just hate the Royal Rumble. It's just the culmination of all these stories interconnecting. It's like it feels like everything is connected at least for one night within this company, and that's a really good thing in my opinion. So again, 3.5 out of 5. Yeah, I think my favorite moment was probably actually I the women's rumble. I just love everything about it. I love all the little stories that really got touched on. I feel almost like the weekly stories got touched on a little bit more in the women's rumble than the weekly stories in the men's. Obviously, there's a lot of history there with especially Jacob, Roman, Jay, that part. You know, their family history and building of Oba. But I think the Women's Rumble was a highlight for me, and I'm really interested to see outside of WWE what AJ Styles does next. Does he go to TNA? Does he go to AEW? I guess we'll probably see in the coming weeks, months.
Well, it'll be a Tommaso Ciampa situation. We'll see tomorrow. We'll see this Wednesday. No.
Honestly, that's what I was thinking. Honestly, the whole Royce Keys thing. If you really want to throw shade at WWE, they kind of. It almost feels like they gave him the fuel to do it if that's the route it goes, right?
Give Royce Keys the keys is my new slogan. Give Royce Keys the keys. I hope Bruno Sammartino wins this Royal Rumble. Wins his first ever Rumble. Only Rumble he's ever been in is a fantasy Rumble.
I really want to see Moxley and Cara Noir in the final two, especially with how Cara Noir's been so bloodthirsty recently. I think it would be amazing.
We're almost to the end of this list. I'm putting them all in. The last two here, but I have a confession to make. I noticed along the way we have 29 people, not 30. That's
Yes,
because Becky Lynch got listed twice.
which I even said. You can watch the footage back. I said it.
You said we already had Becky Lynch?
Yep.
Oh.
But you just you kept going, and I wasn't going to interrupt. So
Should I spin to get a 30th person, or should I run it with the 29 we have?
Yeah, I mean, I would spin.
If this person ends up being the winner of the Royal Rumble, that's what's going to be twice as funny. If this last minute entrant right here gets put in, gets in the final four, wins the whole... It's shit like that you love to see.
You just do the Kim Possible theme song. Yeah, come on.
Booker T gets thrown in there. Last minute throw in. You gotta have Booker T in there, man.
If Booker T wins this, I don't know if I can live with myself.
All right, guys, your final four coming strong.
Let's go.
Number one out of our final four in our random rumble. Zoe Stark.
Zoe Stark. Yo, good for her.
She's made it into the final four. Who's seeing her there?
If it's an all-women cast, that's going to be crazy.
Jamie Noble. It was almost Owen Hart, bro. It almost was Owen.
That's the wrong Jamie.
Know who I'm voting for so far, but let's see who the second two are. Bret Hart. Maybe.
Yo, we could get Owen in here. That would be crazy.
Yeah, that's still not impossible. Or Booker T, or Ricky Steamboat, or Bruno Sammartino. It is going to be Booker T. Holy shit.
Oh my god.
It actually is Booker T. What?
That's actually crazy.
Well, fans, viewers at home, like we said, these are your final four. Jamie Noble, Zoe Stark, Booker T, and Bret Hart. You will vote on who you think should be the winner of this random rumble. You can go any way you choose with this. I think any way you choose, I approve already. I'm thinking about all the options. I'm like, no matter which way you go, I love it. So go off.
Drink it in, man.
Heck yeah, I already know who I'm voting for, but I'm not gonna say so as to not sway
I'm gonna
opinion.
keep it sealed.
Yeah, that's
All right.
Rumble.
Since they decided they were gonna end with insane and unnecessary pyro,
Oh, can I do
so will I. Welcome to season 6.